Hi, class. This is Dr. Davis, and I wanted to start off our week one instructor section by first welcoming you to the course and telling you how happy I am to have each one of you as students this term. This really is such a wonderful course to teach and even take on a lot of levels. It really walks us through the different elements of effective communication, which we'll learn about obviously in the next 6 weeks to come. So, if you're enrolled in this class, this is COM 205. This is effective communication. This is our 6 week term class, and it just, it's such a great course to take, and I hope you enjoy it as well. So, before we really jump into a few different things here, I did want to take the time to introduce myself, which I'll do in just a moment, and also to make sure that you have my email address. So, I'm going to show you how you can email me directly in the course. So, that's probably the most convenient way for you to get in contact with me. But just in case for some reason you get locked out of your course or something like that and you can't access the email feature inside of the course, it's a good idea to have my faculty email as well. So I do ask that you jot this information down just in case. Uh, you can just save it just in case for a time you might need it, but it's good to have on hand. So my faculty email address is sdavis at fortiscollege.edu. And generally speaking, if you send me an email and you don't receive a reply within 24 hours, I would suggest reaching back out to me because that usually means I didn't get your email because I generally make sure that I respond back to students within 24 hours. Do allow for 24 hours though, just in case, especially on the weekends. But that is my faculty email address, and I hope that you have jotted that down. You'll also find that in several areas of the course though as well. All right. So, another thing I want you to jot down really quickly is our Fortis College Technical Support phone number. Now, there's probably going to be a time somewhere in your collegiate career here at Fortis College where you need to reach out to technical support. Maybe there's an issue going on with submitting assignments. Maybe you're locked out of your course. The list goes on and on and on. So I encourage all of my students to keep this phone number on hand. I also encourage you, if you have an issue, a technical issue, to reach out to them first. Don't wait because, time is very important when it comes to courses and assignments, and especially when we're talking about only a 6 week course because that's a shorter course. And so we want to make sure that we address whatever issues you have in an expedited manner. I also encourage my students not to email Fortis College Technical Support, rather to call them because you tend to have a speedier response and a speedier resolution if you're talking to them on the phone versus waiting on an email to come back to you. So if you don't already have this, and I do suggest you write this down, put it in your phone, whatever it is that you need to do, jot down this phone number on the screen. It's 410-219-0199, and that is Fortis College Technical Support, and they can help you with any technical issues that you're having. So if you have a technical issue, give them a call and then let me know obviously what's going on. But if it's a technical issue, I'm not going to be able to solve that for you. I'm going to direct you to Fortis College Technical Support. So just kind of keep that in mind. All right, but let's get on to better and more fun things, right? So I want to take the time to welcome you to the course. I have a short little introduction to help you get to know me a little bit more. So first things first, I'm very excited about new students and a new term. I don't know about you, but I love new terms because I get to meet so many new people and new personalities, and it really is just so fun getting to meet all of you. So I did want to tell you a little bit about myself, and that way you can get to know me and my background and understand that there is a human professor on the other side of your screen somewhere. So allow me to start by introducing myself a little bit here. I've been in higher education for an instructor for several years now, and I have experience of all levels of higher education. I've taught everything from interpersonal communication, which is more like relationships and things like that, to public speaking. I do a lot of public speaking courses, and I even teach in areas of business communication and obviously effective communication. So basically, I've taught in pretty much all areas of communication. So if you've got a communication question, generally speaking, I'm going to be able to help you out on some level. So I have obtained my PhD or my doctorate from Auburn University, and you'll see a little picture of Auburn University right there on the right of the screen. That's Sanford Hall in the background there. That's a that's a landmark thing for Auburn University. It's a beautiful campus, though. So I've obtained my PhD from Auburn University in the area of educational leadership and technology with a focus in adult education. I also have a Master of Arts degree in Communication Studies from the University of South Alabama, as well as my Bachelor of Arts degree in Communication Studies from the University of South Alabama as well. And like I said, I've taught numerous subjects in the area of communication, and I absolutely love my field, and I hope that you'll love it, especially by the end of this course as well. So just the middle picture there is a picture of me. I think that was my master's degree graduation. Nope, that would have been my bachelor's degree. It all starts to run together at some point. And then on the far left-hand side, that is the bell tower at University of South Alabama. So where do I call home? I am a Gulf Coaster. So I have lived here all of my life, and I just love my area of the world. I'm someone who lives about 45 minutes to an hour to some of the world's most beautiful beaches. And a lot of people don't realize that about Alabama. We have beautiful beaches here. So, as someone who has traveled to all different areas of the world, I can honestly say that we just have some very beautiful beaches here along the Gulf Coast. So, with that in mind, I enjoy spending a great deal of my time at the beach and visiting local restaurants and even the local shops in our area. And so, you'll see a picture on the bottom right of the screen of one of our local beaches here. So if you ever get the opportunity or the time to come to this area to go to the beach, I do suggest coming on the Gulf Coast. So we have about an hour from where I live, we have Orange Beach, Gulf Shores. That's a really nice area. But if you keep scooting on down, and it's probably about 2 hours from my house, we have the Destin, Florida area, Fort Walton Beach, those areas in there, and the water is literally see-through, beautiful aqua blue. They don't call it the Emerald Coast for nothing. The water is an emerald color, and it is completely see-through, and it's just beautiful. So if you ever get the opportunity, come check us out down here. It's a great vacation. So in addition, I do live in Mobile, Alabama, which has a very rich culture. So I love living here. I love the history and the culture of this area. We are the little known fact, actually, is we are the official home of Mardi Gras in the United States. A lot of people think or they associate Mardi Gras with New Orleans, but actually, Mobile, Alabama is the home of Mardi Gras in the United States. We were the very first people or the very first city in the United States to host Mardi Gras celebrations. And so we are the original Mardi Gras in the United States. We have a fun few weeks with that at the first part of every year. And it's really just such a fun, really gorgeous historical place to live. A little known fact, too, about the Mardi Gras celebrations in this area of the world is that, and this is just a formality, but it's still fun. Each year, in order for New Orleans to host their Mardi Gras celebrations, their mayor has to write a letter to our mayor in Mobile, Alabama, requesting that we allow them to celebrate Mardi Gras and host their celebrations for the year. Now, I'm sure they'd probably celebrate it either way, but it's just a little fun piece of history that's been going on for, gosh, who knows how many years at this point. And yeah, so it's because we're the home of Mardi Gras. So, as far as my hobbies, my husband and I and my family, we love to travel. We've traveled to various places all over the world, but these are just a few snapshots of the places we've traveled. So, in the top left corner, we have up here where the columns are, we have my husband and I in the Dominican Republic. And I absolutely love the Dominican Republic. I love the people and the culture and the beauty. It's just gorgeous. It's such a dreamy place to be able to vacation. So I also have a picture on the right-hand side of the screen, top right-hand side of the screen, of me skydiving. And in case you're wondering, that's me jumping out of a plane from 14,000 feet in the air. I'm not sure that I would ever do it again, but it was a fun experience. And just in case you're wondering, you can actually see what appears to be the curvature of the Earth at that height. It's it's an amazing thing. In the bottom left corner of the screen, that's my husband and I in Virginia Beach. We really enjoyed that area as well. And let's see here. In the middle photo, that's my husband and I right outside of the White House in Washington, D.C. We've actually been there a few times. We enjoy the history there. My husband and I are both history people, and so that's always a fun trip for us. And then on the far right-hand side of the screen, that would be my husband and I in Charleston. And we really liked Charleston as well. It actually reminds us a lot of Mobile, where we live. And it also has the rich culture and the history and the big, majestic, beautiful oaks that we enjoy in our area of the world as well. So that was a good time too. And on that note, I hope that helps you to learn a little bit about me, some of my interests, where I live, my education, and so forth. And I can't wait to meet some of you as well. So, with that being said, I want to change gears for just a moment and dive into the really what I'm going to call the meat and potatoes of this meeting. And that is going to be I want to introduce you to the course. I want to give you a tour, so to speak, walk you around a bit so that you are familiar with things, where to locate things, how your assignments work, and so forth. And we'll also talk a little bit about your assignments for week one, and that way you know what's expected of you. Okay, so with that in mind, we have our course right here. Now, I am in what's called student view right now, which means basically speaking, you won't see this pink box when you go into the course. It's just a way of me being able to see what you see. So I didn't want to confuse you and show you what I see on my end, because it's going to be completely different than what you see. So I didn't want to confuse you. I wanted to make sure that it's in student view and you can see everything just like you would see it on your end. So when you log into the course, that is exactly what you're going to see, minus the pink box, obviously. Okay, so when you log in, you automatically go to the home area. You can tell because it's bold and underlined here. And, excuse me, you've got just a little bit of information listed here. But what you want to do is every time you log into the course, you want to click on announcements. And the reason you want to do that is because I post announcements at least twice a week for you to review. Those announcements contain things such as tips for assignments. I discuss the content in the course. I dive into things a little bit deeper so that you have a better understanding of some of the concepts. I even post videos there, and I do assignment reminders. So every time you log into the course, I want you to click on assignments and check out and see if there's anything new for you to read. Now, I'm going to show you a little trick here. If if the announcement has this yellow circle beside it, it means you haven't read it. Okay? So if you haven't read it, you're going to want to click it, okay, and review the announcement. All right? So this is the late work policy, and I'll let you review that in your own time. But it's just an announcement I've posted for you so far. So if you want to go back, you just click announcements again, and you'll see that that yellow circle is gone. That means that you have reviewed that announcement, so there's no need to, unless you want to for some reason, there's no need to click on it and review it again. You never want to leave announcements with yellow dots beside them, because that means you haven't reviewed it. And you could have missed something. You could have missed a tip that I've given you. You could have missed a video that you needed to review or whatever. So always make sure that you log into check the announcements. Every time you log into the course is just good habit, in my opinion, but definitely a few times a week. All right, so we'll click on a few here. This one is for Smart Thinking. Smart Thinking is a great tool if you haven't checked it out already. Smart Thinking is a resource that we give students here at Fortis College to help you with your writing skills. And I know a lot of times students struggle with writing and getting things down on paper, and that is a big part of your academic success. So I list information here on smart thinking tutors and how easy it is. It's all virtual. And if you want to take advantage of that resource, you would just click on the Smart Thinking Online Tutoring link here, and it'll be free to you, and you can get a little help with your assignments and your writing. So we're going to click Announcements again to go back. And again, notice how that yellow circle's gone. It's because you have reviewed that announcement. All right, so excuse me. So here is a welcome announcement I posted for you. You would click it and you can read it in your own time, but it tells you a little bit about the course, gives you a little video to watch. It's basically the introduction I just kind of did for you. I've got a little motivational email there. I've got tips on things like where to get started in the course, what you need to be looking at. So these announcements are very important because they help to keep you on track with things. And then another announcement that's been posted so far. So again, if you haven't reviewed these, you need to go in soon and read them. So this is another week one announcement that I've posted. So we're going to click that. And I'm just talking a little bit about there. Let's see here. This one is discussing listening and a few different things. So you're going to want to read that. They're short reads, guys, so don't worry about it. I have a little video here for you about effective listening. So I dive into some concepts there, and you can just simply click on the video and it will get larger for you, and you can review the video in your own, hopefully soon. So, and then you'll see down here that I actually give you the assignments that you should be working on, and you'll find the assignments you should be working on in the modules area. But I like to give a few reminders at different parts of the class so that you're not missing anything. So you don't go, oh gosh, I didn't know I was supposed to do that too. So here I remind you what chapters you should be reading, what you should be doing in the module and so forth. All right. So if we go back to announcements, you'll see that all of those yellow circles are gone, and that's because we've reviewed all the announcements that I want you to review so far. Now, obviously, you won't generally have 4 to review at a time, but since it's the beginning of the course, that's why you have so many. All right. And so I normally post announcements on Sundays and Fridays at a minimum. Sometimes I post them more. So do make sure that when you're logging into the course, just make it a habit. Click on the announcements and see if anything's there. All right. So that's the home area that I showed you. So when you log in, that's what you see is home. If you click announcements, you see the announcements I post for you. Now let's move on to the syllabus. So if you want to check out your syllabus, which obviously you do because it's your way to success in this course, then you'll click on syllabus and you can review it all there. It talks about all kinds of different things, your grading and so forth. And I'll let you review that in your own time. It's always a good idea too to print your syllabus, just a thought, but it's whatever you want to do there. Now, to access your e-textbook, let me give you a little tip on this. We have the link here. It's Vital Source Bookshelf. However, that's not how I recommend that you access your textbook. So just hold that thought. So you can access it here. You usually do better to access it through the actual module that we're working on. So if you click modules, now this is an important part of the course. You'll see what we are working on this term. So I encourage you first to go through the welcome area. So, and again, this is just because you just got started in the course, but if you click getting started, you can review all of that. Now to progress through this stuff, you just click next right over here on the bottom right hand side of the screen. So review that. This is the about your instructor area. So it just tells a little bit about me. I've got a little video there and so forth. Let me see. Yeah. And I've also got my contact information in this area. So if you need to contact me, just let me know. Email is my preferred method of contact. It's just easier to get in touch with me, especially just as I'm sure if you already know, I'm a working mom too. So it's just easier for me to shoot you an email versus chat on the phone, but just let me know. So After you review that, you would just click Next. And then you have the Course Cafe. So I'm going to go back out here. I'm going to click Modules again because that's where we were. All right. And you can see that we just reviewed the welcome area. We looked at getting started, about your instructor. That's where you saw my photo and my video and so forth, and the Course Cafe. And let me click on the Course Cafe really quickly. Now, the Course Cafe is just a discussion area for you to interact with both me and your classmates. So you can post questions here, comments, you can reply to students on things, but it's not a required area. It's just kind of a freestyle area, if you want to call it that. So if you have a question about an assignment, you can post it here. I encourage students to really reach out to me via email. You usually get a speedier response that way, but I do check the Course Cafe once a day. I try to. But email, I mean, I can reply to you very quickly via email. So that's what I generally encourage. Okay, let's go back to modules. Student resources, I'm not going to click all this stuff for you, but you've got your e-textbook area. You've got tips on how to use the Canvas platform, which is what we're using right now for our courses. If you need help in terms of writing, you've got the Writing Center here, great resource. If you need some online library resources through Fortis College, you will just click this. But what I really want you to pay attention to is what you're going to be doing each week. So obviously we're in week 1 of the course. So I'm going to go back out and I'm going to show you. I'm going to click home. So when you log into the course, this is what you'll see. To access your assignments this week, you need to click modules. Okay. And we're in week 1, so you're going to scroll down to week 1 in the course, and you want to start here. You always want to move through each week in a chronological order. So start at the beginning and work your way to the end is my best tip for you when you go to review this weekly materials. That way you don't miss anything. Now, we're going to click week 1, and we're just going to we're going to click week 1 overview. And as we click next on each page, it's going to take us through each one of these titles until we get to the very end. Okay, let me show you how to do it. So you click week 1 overview. All right. And so the week 1 overview, or the overview you're going to see and for the beginning of each weekly lesson, is just basically gives you a really short summary of what we're going to be doing that week. And it shows you how it lines up with your course objectives. So by the end of this week, we hope you have a better understanding of this course objective. Okay. And it gives you a to-do list. It tells you your readings should be ongoing this week, so you need to complete your readings, and I'll show you where to find that in a minute. Your discussion initial post is due by Wednesday of this week. Your discussion response posts to your fellow classmates are due by Sunday, and your assignment, which is the factor opinion assignment, is due by Sunday. So every week you'll have, every week that we have a discussion, the initial post is going to be due on Wednesday, and then your responses to your fellow classmates will be due by Sunday. And I'll go over that in just a minute, so just hang tight. So just to review, we clicked modules, we scrolled down to week 1, we started at the top, we clicked week 1 overview, and it told us what we were going to be doing, gave us a to-do list, we clicked next. Okay, let me take a sip of coffee. Hold on just a second. All right. So that takes us to the week 1 reading. Now, I just stated that I personally don't suggest that you click the vital source bookshelf to access your textbook. I suggest you go through the modules area. Okay, so that's where this is coming into play. So the week 1 reading this week is you need to read chapters 1 and 2. All right, if we click next, you'll see this, and it says load COM 205 textbook table of contents, excuse me. So to access your weekly readings, you'll just click this, okay? And it's gonna, I don't know if it'll do it because I'm in student view right now. Let's see. Yep, there it is. Okay, so you'll need to enter your email address. So mine is sdavis@fortiscollege.edu, and I'll click continue. And of course, have a password. You might have to set up an account. I don't know on your end, but I've already set up mine. and that's why. And then it loads your e-textbook. Okay, and you know from what was stated in the week 1 module area that you need to read chapters 1 and 2. So make sure that you're doing that. All right. Okay, so I'm going to click out of that and I'm going to go back to the modules area to show you what we did. So we'll scroll down to week 1. We looked at the week 1 overview. That's where we saw the summary of what we're doing for the week. The week 1 reading told us that we needed to read chapters 1 and 2. We clicked next, and then we got to this COM 205 textbook table. Now you can click it directly here. It doesn't matter, but and I'll click it right now just to show you. But again, it took me to the load the textbook. It pulls it up in a new window. And since I've already logged in, it'll just load the textbook for me. And so we know we need to read chapters 1 and 2. All right. Okay, so after we've done that, we want to click next. And that brings us to the week 1 interactive lecture. And so basically what the week 1 interactive lecture is it's an interactive lecture that allows you to practice things that we're talking about this week. It gives you informational concepts we're talking about this week. So you can read this in your own time, but to open it, you'll just click on the link here. So it says week 1 interactive lecture. Okay. All right. And so you'll just read this and go through it. Okay? So you'll just click next as you want to progress through it. And you'll make sure that you're reading all this, and of course you'll go all the way down, keep clicking next till you get to the references, and obviously then you've completed the week 1 interactive lecture. Okay. So I'm going to close that out, and you can do that in your own time. So once you've completed that, you'll click next. And that takes you to the week 1 discussion. Now remember that for each week that we have a discussion, you're going to need to post. So the week begins on Monday nights. Okay, so week 1 started this past Monday night. So you need to have your initial post. An initial post is your post you're making about whatever the directions state. Okay, so you need to post your initial post by Wednesday night at 11:59 Pacific time. Now, with that being said, students often ask me, well, they say, well, I'm not in Pacific time, so can I just submit at 11:59, whatever my time is, Eastern time, Central time, whatever? No, this course operates in Pacific time. I'm not in the Pacific time zone, but so I have to take my time and convert it to figure out what time it would be for me. All right, so I'm actually in Central time. And so I have to, it's really easy. Just go to Google and say, what time is it Pacific time? And then make the adjustments based on that. Or you can just make sure that you've got your assignment turned in not right at the deadline, and you'll know that it's in on time. So, so the weekly lesson always begins on a Monday. And you'll need to make your initial post, which is whatever you're posting about the assignment directions here. Initial post by Wednesdays at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time, and you'll have until Sunday of that week to post to at least 2 other classmates really discussing their thoughts by 11:59 Pacific time. So when you're making those response posts, you want to follow the kind of the directives here. It says response posts and your response to your peers. You might offer some additional insight to their example of effective communication. You want to avoid posts that just say great job, good post, interesting, because you're not going to receive full points for that. So you need to actually talk about your classmates' posts and discuss it with them. Ask questions if you want to, whatever, but you don't want to just do a great job because you're not going to receive points for that. So make sure you're really discussing the material. All right, so what is an initial post? An initial post is really easy to make. What you're going to do is you'll read the assignment directions. So it says in 5 to 7 sentences, describe a time when you have effectively communicated. Cite areas of your textbook that justify your effectiveness rating. And in your response, which you'll make later on, to your peers, you might offer some insight to their example of effective communication as well. So what you're going to do in your initial post is in 5 to 7 sentences. I'm going to highlight this for you. So in 5 to 7 sentences, you're going to describe a time when you effectively communicated with someone. You're going to cite areas of your textbook that justify your effectiveness rating. Okay? So how do you make an initial post? Good question. You see this little reply area right under the directions? Click it, and then you can simply I'm just typing something right now, obviously. You'll just type your thoughts, greetings, my thoughts on this topic are, and once you've did your 5 to 7 sentences on what it's stated up here, you'll click post reply. And that's it. That makes your initial post. Okay, so I'm going to delete that real quick. Cancel. All right, so that'll make your initial post. And if you're not sure if it posted or not, you can always scroll right after you hit post reply, scroll to the bottom and see if it's posted down here. You'll see your name in the post. Okay. If it's not there, it didn't post. It's as easy as that. Now, when you want to make your reply post to someone, I'm going to scroll down here and let's say I wanted to reply to this student. I would read her post, her initial post, and then I'd want to reply to her to discuss whatever it is that she said. I would click reply under her post right here. I would I would type my thoughts. I'm just putting test and then click post reply and you'll see your reply under there. Okay, I'm going to hit cancel though. And it's as easy as that. That's how you post to the discussion. So once you've completed that for the week, you can click next. And then your instructor session, which is what we're doing right now. So I will say this, after the instructor sessions are recorded and complete, I do post them in that section. Let me go back out to modules and show you what I mean. Okay, so I clicked modules. I'm going to scroll down to week 1 because that's what we're working on. Just a quick overview here. I clicked week 1 overview. I'll just click it and go back out. That gave me a summary of what we're talking about the week and the to-do list that we've already talked about. I would normally just click next, but I'm going to go back out to modules and show you. Modules, week 1. I clicked week 1 reading. That told me what I needed to be reading in my e-textbook this week, chapters 1 and 2. I'm going to click modules and go back out. To access the e-textbook, I'm going to always click this COM 205 textbook table of comments. Now, I won't always click it in week 1. You see how it's in each week of the course? So each week of the course, you'll have an overview, your readings, your textbook listed, that kind of stuff, okay? See it? Week 2 has the same stuff too. So we try to keep it in line for you so everything looks similar and it's not confusing. So each week you'll have your textbook listed in that weekly module, okay? So let's scroll back up to week 1. All right, so we would click that to access our readings. We would click week 1 interactive lecture and then click the link to access the interactive lecture and complete that. I'm going to click modules to go back out. The week 1 discussion, you'd click it here. That's what we were just talking about. You'd make your initial post and reply to 2 fellow classmates. I'm going to click modules and go back out. I'm just going back out each time to show you what we're doing. The week 1 instructor session is listed right here. So if you missed our instructor session and you want to review it in your own time, you can, well, as long as it's during that academic week, you will click on the week 1 instructor session, and I'll actually have the video posted right here, but since we're recording right now, it's not there. So you would just click play, listen to it, and move on. All right. And I leave those videos up. So even if you're in week 3 and you want to go back and listen to week 1 for some reason because you missed something there or you need clarification on something, you can always go back and watch the videos. As long as the course is still active, all the videos will still be there. So I'm going to go back to modules. And so we've reviewed all of this so far. And then the last thing you have to do is your week 1 assignment fact or opinion. Okay. Now, when you click that, you're going to need to read the directions. It says it's due. This assignment is due on Sunday night by 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. So if our week begins on Monday, all right, our week a weekly module always begins on Monday. You need to have your initial post posted to the discussion by Wednesday, and then by Sunday you need to submit your assignment, which is this week 1 assignment, and you need to reply to 2 fellow classmates. Okay? So when you click on the week 1 assignment, you're going to want to read the directions, obviously complete whatever's needed. And so, it's going to give you an overview of the assignment. It's going to tell you what to do on the assignment. And when you're ready to submit, after you've completed it, if you click download the assignment details, it'll open up the template that you need to save to your computer and fill out for this assignment at least. And that's what you're going to be submitting. Okay. So, or you can develop another Word document if that's what you want to do, but it's just easier to save the template in my opinion. So once you've done that and you've completed the assignment, then you're going to click Submit Assignment up here. Okay, top right hand corner, Submit Assignment. And it's going to take you to here, and it's going to say File Upload. So you're going to click Browse. You're going to choose a file, whatever that is, which I'm obviously not going to do right now. And then you're going to click Submit Assignment. Okay. Now, that's it right there. So it's as simple as that. Okay. So let's go back out to modules. And as you can see, that's it for week 1. So if you've done all of those things, then you have completed week 1. And as we progress through the course, so we'll just check out week 2, you'll see that you again have the overview for week 2. That's going to be a summary of what you're doing that week. You'll check out your week 2 readings. It'll tell you what you need to be reading this week. You click this to actually access the e-textbook to read whatever your required readings are. You'll click the week 2 interactive lecture to do that interactive lecture that I showed you. The week 2 discussion, you'll click that to make your discussion posts. Once the week 2 instructor session is posted, you can click here to access it. And then your week 2 assignment, you would click this to, same thing we just did for week 1. I'll click it real quick. You'll read the assignment directions. You'll complete what's needed. You'll click Submit Assignment. You'll click Browse to attach your file there. Click Submit Assignment. Okay, so it's just that easy, guys. That's how you operate the course. That's where you find everything you need. The only other thing I do want to mention here is you can access your discussions. You can access your discussions through the week, which is what I suggest doing, because that way you've done everything in order for the week. Or you can click the discussions link right here on the left of the screen. It's just whatever your preference is. So if I click the discussion, you'll see the course cafe listed there, and you'll see the week 1 discussion, which is exactly what we were just looking at in the other area. It's just a different way to access it. Okay. And then the only other thing I wanted to talk about, because I've already talked about Smart Thinking, great resource for students that need some assistance with writing, tutoring help, and so forth. The only other thing I want to mention is grades. I don't think it's going to, let me click it and see if it lets me do anything, because I'm not technically a student in the course. Oh, yeah, it does. Okay. So if you want to know how you did on an assignment, you would just click grades. And once it's graded, you'll see your score here. And it'll say, whatever it is, you scored 60 out of 70. Okay. Or whatever it is. It just depends. And if you click the grade, it should take you to the assignment, and you'll see comments that I made on your paper highlighted in yellow, and the overall comment I gave you, letting you know where you lost points and so forth. So as we progress through the course, you will find all of your scores here. So the weekly lessons end on Sundays. That's when you have to submit. So you can submit until 11:59 p.m. Pacific time on Sunday. You can expect your grades within a few days after the lesson closes. Sometimes I grade a little earlier. It just depends, how how things are going that week, and but you will definitely see your grades within a few days after the lesson closes on Sunday. So just give me a few days to grade your assignments, and that's it. So, but let's say that we're in week 3 of the course. Just throwing this out there. Let's say that we're in week 3 of the course, and you clicked on grades because you wanted to see how you're doing in the course, and you still don't see a grade for your week 1 factor opinion assignment. If you don't see a grade, that means that I didn't get your submission. So you need to reach out to me via email and let's discuss it. Sometimes things happen, technology glitches. You think that you submitted it, but it's not there. Whatever it is, I'm usually willing to work with you as long as the course is still active. I ask that you don't fall behind on your assignments, but if the course is still active, I can generally still work with you a bit. So just contact me and we'll make sure that you get it submitted. Okay. And yeah, so you should be able to always keep a watch out on your grades here, and you'll always have a total. Once you start having graded assignments, you'll always have a total here that shows where you're at in the course as far as your average. So that's where you would review that. And I think that's about it. So just kind of a short little recap here of things. I just wanted to remind you that what my email address is. Oh, that's what I wanted to show you. I knew there was something. All right, let's go back to the course for just a second. One last thing. So if you want to email me in the course, all you have to do is go to this left-hand side of the page and click inbox. Okay? It's because I'm in student view. Hold on. Okay. All right, so you just click inbox. You would click this pencil up here to compose a new message. You'll select your course. You'll find it there. I've got a lot of courses right now, so type a subject in there, whatever it is. Clarification on week 1 assignment. I don't know, whatever it is. And then you just type out your message, whatever it is that you want to ask me. Always sign your name so I know who I'm speaking to, and then click send, and I'll get your message. Okay. I don't accept assignments through email, so if you've got any issues with that, you need to reach out to me and let's figure out why you can't submit it in the course. Again, you might have to go back and talk to technical support on that. And then anything like you have a yellow bubble beside means you haven't read it. So if you get an email and there's a yellow bubble here, you need to click on it. I'm not going to do that obviously because these are student emails, and those are private. And so if there's an email there for you and it has a yellow little circle beside it, that means you need to read it because you haven't reviewed your email. So you need to check that a couple of times a week too. And usually, like you can see this little yellow bubble with the 1 beside it, that means that you have a new email that you haven't read. So you would click there, click on the email, and read it. And I think that's it now. I knew there was something I was forgetting. So just a quick reminder, my external email address, my faculty email address, if for some reason you're locked out of the course and you can't get to this little inbox area, my faculty email is sdavis@fortiscollege.edu. And if you have any technical issues throughout the term, you need to call, don't email, Fortis College Technical Support at 410-219-0199. Keep that number handy. So with that being said, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm always happy to answer any questions that you have. And I wish you a wonderful term. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you around in the course. Thanks.